Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And kind of looking at a little bit of an issue and problem here when it comes to the Star Wars franchise. And in this, I can clearly see how it was able to be co-opted by certain movements. And in all of this, what we have is a bunch of prejudices, and no one exposes these prejudices, such as Mace Windu. I'll tell you what I mean. But first, let me greet everybody. Havort Hardugudag, Ola Oi to the Bang, Basas Los. Bonjour, Miss Me, Ketabawani, Konnichiwa, Nihaniama, Sani Bonani, Jumbo Habaragani, Assalamu alaikum, and Shalom. Okay, even in the ideal world of Star Wars, the so-called fans of the franchise, many of them, and you got many of them in support of what I'm about to say, but many of them did not want, and it seemed like to me, an Afro man to be as powerful as they made Mace Windu. All right. And so what happens is you have a slew of reviewers, and I keep running across them, and I keep looking at some of the points they have, and then they come with it. And I was like, wow, that's straight up prejudice. I would go to the R word because that's probably what it is. All right, but it's couched in, it is couched in their opinion. And the things that made me do this video is these are some straight up hypocrite reviewers. And I am starting to see what many of those that support Kathleen Kennedy is talking about. I don't support her at all. I think she jacked up the franchise. All right. But these guys are doing the same thing as she was doing. I watched, I'm not going to give the names, but I watched a few guys talk about the battle with Mace Windu and Palpatine. All right. And this video right here is going to show you how much that this ideal group of people called fans of Star Wars, how much their idealism is hypocritical of what Kathleen Kennedy turned this franchise into. Because for the prequels, they turned it into kind of the same thing. All right. And this is how they did it. Before I get into this, let me remind everybody of this. Let's get those thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. My PayPal me and Cash App will be in the description box. I have to make one more trip. I have to make another trip. As y'all know, I wasn't able to get all the stuff into the favelas this last time. So the brothers that can help me by donating, I will sure appreciate it. But remember, you still always take care of yourself and family first, okay? So let's break this down. Okay, let's break this down. You got this battle with Palpatine and Mace Windu. All right. And basically, to break down the style of Mace Windu, all right, he is about the only Jedi that could be any Sith Lord because of the style he uses. He masters the form that Yoda uses, but he uses Shatterpoint Vapad in the pod primarily. He created his own style. And what he's able to do is become stronger. The darker the dark force user is, the stronger that makes him, because he takes what they're giving him and channels it back to them. Here's the issue that I'm starting to have with these reviewers, and they are really starting to show their true colors. All right. And we're talking about all the ones that don't have my complexion. All right. You have some of the guys that are like straight up, yeah, Mace Windu won. And this is why. Same logic I had, right? But in this, you had a situation where people asked Lucas, did Mace Windu win or did Palpatine throw the fight? And Lucas said, no, Mace Windu won. Palpatine did not throw the fight. You would think this would be the end of it, right? So this is what started to happen. As we get into this, and we see Palpatine take out Mace Windu's partners, you start to see sort of like, well, okay, we know what Lucas said, but, and it's the buts that started to bother me. So let's really look and analyze not the movie, but the fandom that can't come to grips that a black guy could beat the villain in a fight. The villain actually loses and only keeps his life or keeps from being arrested because there is intervention. All right. Basically, that's it. The fight was already lost. He loses, the fight is done. Mace Windu hesitates to put him under arrest. All right, so let's break this down. They're fighting, and the longer they fight, the stronger Mace Windu's get because of his style. Not only that, he uses sadder points and he can see the weakest point. He can see and pinpoint somebody's weakness. Which means that the longer him and Palpatine fought, the worse the outcome was going to be for Palpatine. Because if Mace Windu, when using Vapad, Pod, and Shatterpoint, gets his power by deflecting the dark energies user back at them, then this means that no dark energy user is a match for Mace Windu. All right. So I was looking at a video where a guy that I did respect till he made this comment. He said, okay, what about Mace Windu versus Qui-Gon Jinn? They both have the same ideals about the Force. All right. They're both even-handed about the Force. Right. But this guy that's clearly a fanboy, when analyzing their powers, he says this, that discounted everything. And this is, I heard this comment just one too many times after him, and I turned off his channel, and I won't watch his channel anymore. And it's reviewers like this that turn me off from Star Wars or anything like this, right? But what he says is this, that the creator, think about it, these are the same people angry at Kathleen Kennedy for what she's done to the thing and how she didn't listen to the creator, then they, of Star Wars, and then they turn around and said, well, the creator says that Mace Windu won hands down. And then he goes on to say, but in my opinion, I think Palpatine was holding back. You know what he just sounded like right there? A BAW. So the creator of the franchise, the one that knew all this stuff, the one that put together all these ideas about the dark side, the light side, the problems with that the light side were having, they got co-opted by the galactic government, all this stuff, right? They said, never mind what the creator thinks, because I have a hard time believing that a black guy could be in a role to have that much power that he would be second to Yoda. And that's their problem with this franchise. When we get into the prequels and Samuel L. Jackson's role as Mace Windu. Now, understand this. A lot of the fans who are not reviewers are calling these dudes out, but they don't have YouTube channel. They're calling these dudes out in the comment section. You got still a lot more fans that are like, no, yeah, I see what he's saying. No. All right. If George Lucas is so important to make these last three, and y'all mad because his words wasn't considered, that he had no hand in it, and that they jacked it up, then who are y'all to say that when he said Mace Windu won, that you have a problem with it? It only makes sense because of the styles that he used. It wasn't like Mace Windu was fighting the dark side, a light side user. So Qui-Gon against Mace Windu would have been a good match. But I didn't wait to hear the rest of it, because I was like, okay, this guy is biased, and he's biased against Afro people. And I think some other people in the comment section started to point that out too. They try to remind these people that Mace Windu uses the dark person's energy against themselves, and the darker they are, the more powerful they make him. But that's not good enough for these people because of the color of his skin, which then makes me wonder, what if somebody else that was not an Afro-American actor played Mace Windu? But see, this was the problem with Star Wars to begin with. All the Jedi seemed to have one tone, one human tone, and that was all Caucasian. So it was a nice breath of fresh air. When he got killed, people wondered, was this a master plan? There was a master plan, but he clearly lost. All right. When it goes to the author and you just can't live it down, and I'm thinking it's because of the color of the guy's skin, then there's a problem. And then you see the rise of the hypocrites, because they're doing exactly what Kathleen Kennedy did. Only they're mad at her, but then they turn around. And it's okay because they have a problem with an Afro man being as strong as he is, in portraying somebody as strong as they are as an Afro man in the Force. All right. So here he clearly loses. So he got a backup plan. You understand? He's lost. He lost the lightsaber duel. Now he got a backup plan to not be arrested. And when you look at other scenes, you can clearly see that he was really trying to take Mace Windu out. You see? All right. And so what I can't contemplate is these people that are so big on the ideals of this movie, why they have such a hard time with the fact that this man could beat this dark Sith Lord when his powers are set up to beat exactly that. The powers that could beat any dark user because they make him stronger. All right. People were happy to see Samuel L. Jackson in this role. But now that all this stuff is over, you can see feminism, racism, and prejudice all over what this thing had become. And you see hypocrites going both ways. I do not like what Cap. I don't like this whole other series. I like the first movie. I forgot the name of it. Oh, let me go get it. Yeah, I like this, The Force Awakens. I don't get them unless they're 3D. So I like The Force Awakens. I didn't like anything that they did with that. I was hoping that Finn would end up being a Jedi. I was hoping that they just ruined it after that. J.J. Abrams left them a template and they destroyed the franchise. That I believe. All right. But the other people that's destroying the franchise too are the fanboys that can't live with the fact that, maybe for once Lucas wanted to be inclusive and had a little more power around the throne shared by the likes of someone that could play a character like Mace Windu, like Samuel L. Jackson. This thing is crazy. So powerful was this man that the Force lightning that was shot at him, he redirected back at Sidious. Think about that. And people still want him weakened. I'm thinking because of the color of his skin. All right. So at the end of the day, I'm tired of all the hypocrites in this country that can't let a brother just do his thing. Because you got all of everything. And you don't want other people to be a part of the fantasy too. I think that is just totally sad and deserving of the beatdown. With that said, I'm out.